So this is where you're going to be coming in with the skid steer to do a lot of your chores also, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I usually walk over and unchain it before I get in the skid steer.
How wide is this gate?
16.
Is it 12? It's a 16?
16. But I always pull it back. When I open it, just to walk through or to unchain it, I always make sure it stays.
What do you call this gate? Which gate is this?
North gate.
The north gate? Do you want me to chain it?
You don't need to.
No.
So the north gate is 16 feet long?
Yep.
And you open and close that every day?
Yep. Multiple times.
Multiple times?
Yep.
Like how many?
Usually about 3. I watch where you step.
And do you chain it shut every time?
No, I just push it back shut.
So you unchain it once, but you go in and out 3 times?
Yep.
And then you chain it when you're done at the end?
But if this group of cattle, that group over there, I lock this group, these 2 groups, whatever, in. That group, I unchain that gate, but I push that gate shut. When I come back out with a empty bucket.
Why don't you walk with me and tell me. So you unchain that gate and you come in.
I walk in, yep, I unchain that gate, go back and get my skid steer. Then I come back, I unchain that gate, come in with my skid steer, push this feeder over in front of there for now.
The green feeder gets pushed up, and this other gate is shut?
And that other gate will be shut.
So you come in with the skid steer and you lock these cattle
So these
all
cattle on this side are all locked in.
Okay, and then what?
And then I go back with my skid steer and get my bucket of feed for this group. And I set the bucket off, get out, unchain that gate, and then I put my bucket back on, and I go in and feed a bucket to these guys.
What do you call this gate?
Center gate. A gate between pens.
And is it a...
North yard center gate.
Yep.
And how long is that one?
16.
That's a 16 also?
Yep. And then I'll go in and dump a bucket of feed.
Back into it and bin it.
Yeah.
And where you put the feed in that feeder wagon?
Yep, in the wagon. And I'll dump a bucket of feed there, and then I'll come back through to get them another bucket of feed. And
So
I will not chain this gate.
But you open and close it with the skid steer?
This one, I push it open to go in with my bucket of feed.
Okay.
Dump the feed, and then I just leave it. And because that gate I can is pushed shut when I go over there,
And these animals all stay here and eat?
Well, they'll come over into this yard while I'm going back and forth.
And this
but
yard,
I take my tine bucket and pull that gate shut
This
again.
yard goes clear over to the barn?
Yep.
In the shop?
Yep.
So do you have to chase them with the skid steer to get them to come back in when you're done, or do they
usually come if they've got
Because they've got feed then?
Because they'll have their feed.
Okay.
And now like today, they're going to need a bale of hay.
Okay.
Bale of hay, and then if I hurry up and get my fence fixed, maybe they can go out today, out in the pasture lot.
Is it all right with you if I take some pictures here?
Sure, go ahead.
Because I think that it's good for me. Ed, do you mind stepping to the side a minute? I just want to take a picture of this center gate. All right.
I wish I didn't have a pile of manure right there, but...
Well, it gives me an idea. It just helps me remember what I'm seeing here.
Yep.
So, what about, could you come in the other end of this center lot to feed without coming through all these gates? Is there another gate down there?
There are gates coming from the other pen.
Oh,
the pen on the south side.
Oh, you got another pen of cattle over there.
Yeah, that's where the cows and calves
We used to feed from the east gates on all of them.
And sometimes when I can get them to lock in.
What way's east?
East is
I'm mixed up.
that way.
East, that way.
Okay.
This is west. And sometimes I can get, now these gates I need to put something because they keep wanting to tip over.
That's where the skid steer tire
Yep,
comes
we
in.
got some old, we're going to make us some couple stationary or movable posts.
But we found out that her coming in these gates without opening the other east gate, she can do all the chores.
What about coming in through these to feed through here?
I have done that before too, when I didn't.
I guess you got to go a lot farther with the
You're going a lot
the
farther with
feed,
the feed.
clear out and around. So this is really
This is the easiest, and I like when it was just my own cattle. When we had heifers over there, because everybody locked in good. I could lock these in, I could lock these in. Then I would come in and I would go through to feed that other pen over on the south side. Even though I could go in that east gate where we stood, that
Just much easier this way.
that this way, and then I pushed this gate shut. If anybody got by me, they were still all fenced in a fenced-in barnyard.
So we've got this group of cattle.
There's this group, there's that group, and then there's a group on the south side of the barn, cows and calves.
Okay.
Then there's a group
And then
down
there's,
there.
actually, yep, there's two groups
In another
over in
building.
that other barn.
Okay, but
But
these
they-
are the three that are right.
These
here
are three
close.
that are right here.
All right. So we originally came in here to talk about the working
Yep.
system. Can you tell me about the flow through? This is the headlock where they come out. Do they
Well, you take this,
do they start here?
yes.
They come in here?
Well, you open the red
Oh,
gate,
it's like a bud box. They go on through to that pen and then they turn
you
around
open
and
the
when they
red
come back.
gate, and we got the other gates down there that you
And to get them in there, you bring
tie the gate to there.
this
Okay.
around. But for some reason, they've gotten rowdy and they've knocked my gates in.
Well, it's not a bad
It's not a bad
system because
system,
you can work them.
but you can work. I mean, you can funnel. You
And
can
you can-
funnel them in, and you can have everybody here locked in, and you put something here, and you funnel them in from this pen. You can funnel them. The cattle from the barnyard can come up through that way. We need a couple gates.
So there's
Down there they
this is a fairly central area then.
Yep,
That-
it works
that
for
pen,
it's just outside.
that
But
pen. How do they get from over there?
they come through here, or they come through that alley.
They come through here. We got gates down there by the silo. They put the two together.
Okay, so they can come out of that gate.
No, they come out of the gate down there by the silo.
Gates by the silo.
Yeah, I don't know. You never got out in here, did you?
No, I didn't. Okay, so they come from
They come
by the
from
silo.
by the silo. We got, which we need to replace. There's the gates that go across there,
and then they come up in here.
and then
How
you
much-
shut that orange gate, and they come up through into here.
How much-
This is where we would load. In the later years, this is where we would load cattle.
You would back
the
your
milk
trailer
cows.
up to
You'd
here
back the
and-
trailer up to there
and load them out.
and load them out.
Okay.
The ones that you weren't, if you were worried about them jumping, we'd load out of the freestyle alley over there.
Okay.
But like the milk cows, we usually loaded out of here.
All right. So, what you've never had is a covered area to work your cattle in.
No.
And when you bring a group in here
Now Ed was talking about putting a roof over that.
to swing that gate over and get the cattle to go into the headlock,
You bring them down here,
and they want
And-
to turn around and get back
and
out.
you bring that gate there comes across to here,
Yeah.
and you just funnel them
Yeah.
in. But you can see what has happened.
There's no way to.
We need to figure out
Crowd
a way
'em
to
in.
make that a solider wall
Yeah.
going in, and get the gates up where they swing like they're supposed to.
Tell me what would have to happen if you needed to get one of your cows and calves from the south.
I
pen
would.
into here.
These guys would have to be locked in. Those guys would be locked in, which isn't a huge problem. And I would bring them in, and I would have something so that they would come in that gate and come right into this. You know, I'd probably turn that feeder the other way so it reached over towards the barn.
It would be a
And
fair.
park a skid steer.
would
But
be
I
a-
mean, it works.
It-
You know,
It could work, but it'd be a big project
it's a
to
bigger
get it
project.
set up.
It's a bigger project to get set up. You know.
What about if you had a working system that was on wheels that could work here or it could work over there and you could move it?
That might work. That might work.
It's moving the cattle or moving the system.
Yep.
Okay.
It might work. You know, I mean, Ed laid this all out. Maybe 10 years. Probably been
Okay.
about 10 years we've had it.
Okay.
About 10 years ago.
It's been gotten a little worse for wear, but I mean,
Dug
What-
the dirt all out. put it somewheres and then refilled it all with ground up asphalt.
I need to take a picture from back here and then I'll come out that way. They call this a bud box where the animals come in and when they turn around to come back, you swing a gate and the only way to get back out is
that way.
where you want them to go, and they naturally flow that way.
You know, now the vets said we needed to make this gate so we could take it off, which we did. Made it so it could come off, but so if the cow went down in there.
I feel like for me to really understand what's going on, I need to walk from here through there.
Walk around there.
And I don't know how big of a project that is, if we need to lock these cattle in or if we can just go through.
We'll just chain the gate behind us.
I want to point thing out, the vet wanted a gate out here, so we put some hinges here.
Okay.
But I don't know what happened to the gate. So in case you wanted to, you swing this gate over there and they could stick their head. Normally the head's on this side, but if you need to,
That
you
gate's
could
right
put their
there.
head that way.
Okay.
That gate's right there.
Oh, I got this right here.
Yep. That's behind the other one.
All right. So I think I got a feel for what's happening over here. I don't understand quite yet bringing them
Where
from.
you guys gonna go?
Watch it stick.
Run inside, guys.
So they go inside the freestall barn over there.
That's
for
where
their
they're supposed to
shelter.
go.
Okay. Are you doing okay, Jane?
Yep.
Am I overworking you?
Nope, I'm okay.
If you need to sit down and rest, we could do that.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Like I say, they aren't really used to me being.
They're not used to us walking here.
Well, they're not going to quit.
All right, they're okay over there, right? They're not going
As
anywhere?
long as they don't decide to jump the fence over.
All right. Oh, and that one got left alone.
She went in there.
So,
And see, we can sort cattle into that. Either of those two gates open up, and we can sort them into that square.
okay. And this is the other group here.
This is the cows and calves. They didn't want to let anybody see them yesterday. And they have fans. And you know, in the wintertime, normally if I'm calving anybody in the wintertime, they'll be over in that other pen where the gate is and where the headlocks are. They won't be out where they're going to be, calves are going to get cold and freeze or anything.
I guess this is where I was wondering if there was a driveway around.
There's not a driveway
come
around
in
the
here.
whole thing.
Driveway, but you can come around the concrete.
All right.
I didn't put these other gates here until about 10 years ago, Jane.
Yeah.
We made another, like, if you see it, Ned, it's like another little holding pen.
Okay.
So you can sort cattle.
Yeah, we never had those two gates.
We've always had those, but we never had them two.
Well, I think here's what I'm concluding from this conversation is that your system of getting the cattle into the headlock could be made safe with a crowding tub and some alley sections and a squeeze chute. But the part of it that I'm maybe not your best advisor for is figuring out what to do with this pen of cattle, that one, and the one from the freestall barn. So I'm thinking, do you know anybody that is like a beef person that could help think through your pens and set this up like a feedlot with an alley?
We talked to an extension agent named Jared from up in the Thumb, who said that he would be willing to come and give us some ideas.
we can start walking back
Okay.
and go back through again, unless there's a way out here
No, not.
or
Not
through here.
Unless we want to walk all the way around the whole. I don't know, Ned, have you ever stuck, I mean, just because you're here, not that you need to. You don't,
We're just
I was
gonna
going
look
that
in
way.
here
I
quick.
just was going to ask, oh, we got rain. I need to clean this alley out. Don't bring your camera over here.
What do you do with for cleaning this out?
I use a skid steer.
And you can come in down at the end
I
here?
come in there, or I'll come in.
You come in from there, and where do you scrape it to?
It goes out that end.
You push it out that end?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
you'll open this gate.
Or I'll come through that pen. I can get
Okay.
in here actually, I'll come in through that gate and shut this gate and lock them out here outside. And
Okay.
And the manure pit's over there.
then manure pit, the old manure pit's there.
All right. Well, are you familiar with fence line feeders?
Yep.
Because that's another thought. If you could have a row of fence line feeders across over there, and
On that end?
and you could just dump your feed over
And not
so that you would
yeah,
never have to come through those two gates. You would have to drive farther with your skid steer to get around the
Right.
shop,
Right.
but you could put it in. Just a thought.
Yep.
But the whole idea is if you can't get, that's how we used to fill a silo. Is the wagons used to come around here, but the silos will not get filled anymore. But
Yeah.
we don't really want to close that option off that we can't drive through here anymore.
But the fence line feeders could be moved if you had to,
Right.
you know, for a certain project or something. But I'm just thinking how you could feed this
You
group
know.
of cattle without
Because
going
I mean,
through
like
two
I say,
gates.
I'm saying, you like to come in here, if need be, and load out of this door right here.
Okay.
It's the safest place to
It's
load
the safest place to load.
anything that's.
Can you picture that, Ned?
This is where you load out of this door
Well,
right
we
here.
back the
Mostly,
trailer
if-
in here
Okay.
up to this
like
door.
the beef
Yeah.
cattle,
and
because they're wilder.
We close the overhead door so they can't jump the gate.
Okay.
And this is usually the safest place to load a bull. Or this is where we load most of our bulls, is right here.
Okay.
I mean, when we were
Usually
dairy.
the safest.
Okay.
You know, but I mean, if I didn't have that pile of dirt there, yes, there could be, you could put 2 fence line feeders down there, that one stretch. I wouldn't have them in the center because I
How
still
many-
always want to be able to
How
come
many
down
head
through
of cattle are in this pen?
I think there's 13 in this pen too.
So you would be able to fit 13.
Yep,
That's
you would
like
be able to.
26 feet. A fence line feeder
You have to show Ned our fence line feeders
would be
down
2
there.
gates.
Yeah, we got fence line
We
feeders
got
in
fence line feeders in the other yard.
the barnyard with headlocks in them.
Are there cattle there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go look at them.
Which way you going, Dan?
We're
Well,
gonna,
if you're gonna go that way, I wanna go that way and make sure the gate gets chained.
you
that's
know,
where my-
Ned, let's us go this way. We'll go down the feed alley. Otherwise, we're walking.
And Ed,
But
you're
you
going to go
might-
back that way
Yeah,
and
you tell
chain
Josie,
the gate?
or you tell Heidi where we went, Ed.
So I'm going back this way to chain the gate.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you chain the gate.
We'll meet you
Hey.
over at the other pen.
Tell Heidi we went that way, this way.
Where does your driveway come from to get over to here?
This one,
Yeah.
the other side of the milk house.
Okay, it comes around from the other side of the building. I see. Which is a long ways from your feed bunk.
You know, when we
All right. Boy,
they don't
it's
know,
a rodeo
they
here,
don't
isn't
know
it?
him at all. They don't know him at all. And we always put.
They're not used to him being here.
They're not used to him at all.
And then you had this hooked.
Just hook it someplace. Don't Ned.
All right. Well, let's go get
Yeah,
out of
they're
the
not-
way. And
They're not used to him being.
sorry to be stirring your cattle
Oh,
up.
that's okay.
All right. But there's a lot of gates to go through to get to that group, no matter how you do it.
I mean, they're going through. I mean, they're going through too. When I could lock them in, which I guess I really haven't tried too hard, but you know, if you get them trained to go in the freestyle alley and shut them all in, it's not a big deal. And you just come in and go around and come in through. You want me to lock it?
I'm gonna start drawing a sketch, okay, Jane?
Okay.
So we've got this building. What do you call this building?
Heifer barn.
So we've got the cow-calf on this side. We've got
For now, yeah.
the feeders over there.
Oh. Wintertime, it'd probably be swapped.
And there's that. And then this group of cattle out here. And they can get in the freestall barn.
Yep.
Through there. But there's a gate here. And you got a gate here. And then we came over and this gate went across here and your working system was here.
Yep.
With your bud box out and around, and then the silo with the gate. Let's see.
There's a gate that goes like this, and then there's a gate here if they come in through.
Okay. And your feed bunk is way out here.
Yep.
So you have to drive, and then the shop. It's not quite the proportion, but you got to drive with feed. If you decide to feed this group with fence line feeder, you're gonna have to drive all the way around.
Yep.
And come to here.
Which I'm already driving all the way around and coming over to here, but
To work with other animals.
to do other animals. But I've just gotta.
Okay. So we've got this. There's a gate here.
Right now, I don't have enough animals for what I got. Spaces.
You got a lot of space, so your animals are all spread out. A 16-foot gate there, a 16-foot gate there. We got this group here. And this is the, what do you call this group?
I call that the dry cow group.
Okay.
I mean, that's a dry cow. This
Yep.
was a dry cow alley.
The dry cow lot. Good. That makes sense to me. So you got your dry cow group, your feeders, your cow calf, and then another group over in the freestall barn.
Yep.
All right. And that's where we're headed
In the
now.
old freestalls.
Okay.